It is critical for white people to understand that the healing of black people is as important to them as it is for black people. It's not just about us. It is for everyone. Black consciousness is critical if we are going to build this country, if we're going to have an economy that works, if we're going to have peace and security, if we are going to have adherence to the law. The black person must be healed and reconciled to himself.
I agree. Hi, welcome back to the show. Kekeletso Khena, and today we have a special guest. And when I mean special, I really mean special. But she will tell us who she is, rather than it sounds like I'm trying to kind of elevate her. Nale Kekeletso Khena, and who will be talking to us Black consciousness. Today is a different angle from all the other shows that we had because of Kajeku. We are not actually talking about a specific person, but we are talking about the topic itself. And I think today's topic is going to be interesting. Keke, how are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much for coming here and grace our studio.
No, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's such an honor to be sitting
now.
here.
This is my favorite part,
right?
In all of this, like, who is Keke?
Wow, Kekeletso wears a number of hats, but I am the Deputy President of Azapo. I am an activist. I am a feminist, and a black woman.
Okay. So today, a term, Black consciousness.
Right.
What is it to you?
To me, it is an ideology. It's an ideology steeped in the healing of the black mind. It is an ideology that is steeped in the psychology of the black mind. In actual fact, it's about giving agency to the black mind. It is about undoing the dehumanization of black people. Black consciousness is waking up on a day-to-day basis and being conscious of your blackness and what that means, and using the word black with power rather than the negativity that is associated with it. It's actually giving strength to the word black, and it's that consciousness. And I think when you look at consciousness, it speaks to awareness. So it's my awareness of my being as a black person and what that means. It may it also looks at, so maybe at a later stage we can look at why we actually need it, but it is a consciousness. It's me waking up every single day and knowing that I am a being, I'm black, and I'm worthy. Consciousness and awareness.
All right, because that was my next question.
Right.
And I'm saying it's 2023 now, and then do we need to obviously consciously thinking that I'm black rather than I'm South African, I'm human, I'm a part of a race which is South African race, and we're trying to build a country. No more color issues. We are a rainbow nation. Why the importance of black consciousness?
I think if you go back to even the very conceptualization of black consciousness as a philosophy, people were, no matter I'm brown, I'm Indian, I'm colored, and if you remember, there was whites, and there was non-whites.
Yes.
So it started off there.
Yeah.
So they started by saying you are a non of something.
Okay.
So whites have agency. Whiteness has agency. It's a being.
Yeah.
And you are a non of that being.
Yeah. You are defined by it.
You are defined by your non-ness in relation to this thing.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
And so it was like, no, I have agency. I have a being which is black, which exists outside of whiteness. So it is not, my being is not defined by whiteness.
Yes.
So it's giving myself agency. And giving myself beingness in blackness. And that's where you then use black consciousness or blackness as a stance against whiteness. And whiteness is not white people. Whiteness is a system.
Oh, okay. And a bit confusing to me. Whiteness is not people. Whiteness is a system. And the system we see white and stuff like that. So my question probably it's still sitting on the same question. Like
why?
Okay. if the system, if whiteness is not the people, but the system, is it still relevant in 2023?
So let's go back to our more recent history, which is apartheid.
Okay.
We talk about Verwoerd,
yes,
who was the architect of apartheid.
Yeah.
When Verwoerd was designing apartheid, he designed it to attack the black mind. So
Okay.
he designed it as a psychologist and a psychiatrist so that the effects of apartheid would live beyond him. They would live beyond apartheid as a legislated law,
Okay.
and have an effect on black people. Steve Biko comes back and says the most potent weapon in the hands of the enemy is the mind of the oppressed, right? So that is exactly it. So we went and we were attacked at a mind level. So black consciousness is about undoing that attack that was being, so I call it a psychological warfare waged against our people, right?
All right.
So why is black consciousness important today? Black consciousness is not just you waking up and knowing that you are black. It's about you having agency as a person, knowing that you are worthy of dignity, knowing that you are worthy of a space to live, breathe, to self-actualize,
okay.
right? And we live in a world today where black people have been dehumanized. So it was a systemic dehumanization of black people up until such time that black people are reconciled to themselves. And I'm talking about that healing aspect, right?
Yeah.
And black people are healed. It doesn't matter how much money, resources, land, work you throw at them. What is wrong is here. And black consciousness is that medicine that begins to heal the person from deep within and provide them with the agency to be able to self-actualize. That thing that was taken away by apartheid, because it systemically dehumanized us, took away our dignity, and took away the agency. There are certain things that we do that are dehumanizing.
Yeah.
But we have accepted them as normal, as a way of being for ourselves. So black consciousness seeks to undo all of that. It's a medicine of the soul and of the mind for black people. So it's not really about black, white, orange people. No, that's not what it is. It's a collective of black people who are then saying we want to give ourselves agency, dignity, honor, and respect. And so that's for me, that's what it means, and that's why it's so important.
Okay. I get that, right? And I have this question here. If apartheid, or what Verwoerd did, it was a system, a psychological system against, I don't know whether to put it against black people, but let's, for clarity's sake, say an apartheid, a system against black people. And I'm saying, did apartheid damage black minds only? And my question comes to this, maybe it's twofold. Do we recognize that the system also damaged the understanding of the white race, if we can put it that way?
So I'm going to talk about whiteness as a system and as a privilege.
Okay.
Right. So when white people wake up in the morning, there's a sense of knowing that they are entitled to certain things.
All right.
When they left their countries, then Batlamo, they had their entitlement, and that entitlement still exists today.
Yeah.
I'll give you a classical example in the example I'm going to make for you now, and say, if I were to take a white person and throw them in the heart of Deep Sloot and say, this is your home, within 2 hours, this is dehumanizing.
Yeah.
This is not fit for human survival.
Limitation, yeah.
Yeah. This person will already tell you why that place is not for humans.
Yeah.
And yet we live there.
Yeah.
We wake up every single day under those conditions, and we have normalized it.
Yeah.
Something must tell you that something is off there.
We
have normalized the dehumanization of black people. And so when you say, did Verwoerd really manage to hurt us? Yes, he did. Because that dehumanization has transcended generations. And we are here today, and our people think the dehumanizing ways of that were imposed upon our people are normal.
Yes.
And we continue to live like that, and white people have not. So when you talk about psychological damage, I don't think they have psychological damage, but they have privilege. So they were taught privilege. They're taught that you are privileged, you have a right to certain things. You have a right to wealth, you have a right to jobs, you have a right to a good life, you have a right to health. We, on the other hand, were taught we have a right to all of these dehumanizing things that have become a norm in our ways.
Okay, so basically you are saying for them it's their issue, but black consciousness is we concentrate on building us, not necessarily.
No, it's not that. You see, the thing is, black consciousness is a critical aspect for anybody. There will be no peace in this country until black people are reconciled to themselves. We talk of the concept of Ubuntu, but we take it at a superficial level. We have sexified it. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
Ubuntu is I am because you are.
Yes.
Ubuntu is all is not well with me unless all is well with my brother.
You. Yes.
Right. So now when you look at the state of the black person, the state of the black mind, and the violence and the squalor within which they live, you know it's only a matter of time before it affects you in your suburbs and your easy life.
True.
Until black people are healed, there will be no peace. I talk about this because I'm going to make an example about AKA's death, which is one of the things that I think we can all relate. When a man takes a gun, points it at somebody else, and poof, that person is dead. The value of that person's life is diminished. So that person did not see the humanity in the other person.
That's
and
correct.
So snapping them was not a big deal.
Yeah.
But how do you get to that point? When you yourself have no value for your own life, you cannot ascribe value to the next person. And therefore, for as long as black people are dehumanized in the manner that they are, we will know no peace. We will know no progress. The economy will not grow up until black people are reconciled to themselves. It is critical for white people to understand that the healing of black people is as important to them as it is for black people. It's not just about us. Yeah. It is for everyone. Black consciousness is critical if we are going to build this country, if we're going to have an economy that works, if we're going to have peace and security, if we are going to have adherence to the law. The black person must be healed and reconciled to himself.
I agree. It's just my perspective always has been the damage that has been done in this country. It's not only the damage on black people, but it's also the damage on white people. If you teach your son that you don't have to work hard because of somebody else must do the job for you, you also psychologically kill the other one. That's why.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, that's why I think.
But that's an international phenomenon. It's whiteness.
It's whiteness.
Yes.
You know. So.
And it doesn't matter where white people are.
Everywhere they are.
They're exactly like that.
There's that white domination.
No, they're silly like that. White people are silly in the sense that this thing about privilege, they don't see it as a disease. Their desire to take, annihilate, abuse, and enslave. They don't see it as a disease, but it is a disease they carry, right? And they must themselves, in their white consciousness, work towards humanizing themselves, because it is inhuman to treat people in the manner that they continue to do. They've done that to indigenous Indians. They've done that to everyone.
In every continent,
everywhere they have been, and their people continue to do that. So there's a gene. I don't know whether it's evil or something, but there's just something about them that is just wicked.
There's a
wickedness.
Okay. No, I hear you. Now back to
black consciousness.
Black consciousness. What you guys do. I mean, the relevance of black consciousness in the age what do you think should be done in advancing the cause of black consciousness?
I think black consciousness is a way of life. It is a philosophy, a way of life.
Okay.
And that way of life must be infused into everything that we do. I'll give you a classical example. Imagine a government of black conscious people. Remember, black consciousness is about self-love. I said to you, if you have no value of your life, you cannot value the life of another. But then the opposite is also true. If you love yourself and you give yourself dignity and agency, whenever you interact with other people, you give them the same dignity and agency. So imagine a state that is run by Black conscious people who are healed in themselves, and they give themselves the dignity and the agency. And so when they interact with their people, they do so from that same place of dignity and respect. When you honor yourself, you do not take what is not yours.
Of course.
When you honor yourself, you treat others with the same respect you want to be treated.
Yes.
When you honor yourself, you understand the fact that you are born for others. I mean, as Africans, we come from this thing, yeah, Ubuntu, I am because you are. Therefore, I am born not for myself, not for my family. I'm born for all of us. I am here to fulfill a role that facilitates the journeys of all of us. So if I am placed in a position where I'm a police officer, my job is to protect my people to the best of my abilities, because that is what I'm called to do, to be of service to my people. When I teach children, I understand that I am teaching a generation of people who must then build this economy, who must then ensure that there is an upward trajectory of growth, etc. So there's that aspect. So that's what Black consciousness, so we must infuse Black consciousness in everything we do, into healthcare, into our ways of being, into the way we interact with each other. Because Black consciousness is also about being self-sufficient, right?
All right.
And when I say give yourself agency, I'm talking about being self-sufficient. It's, I went home, I'm at home, and I drive out the streets. There is water, a sewage thing of water that is snaking. In my mind, I'm already thinking, who is the councillor? Where do I find her? Why is this water like this? How long has it been like this? When is it stopping?
Yeah.
And I can assure you, I am leaving today. By the time I leave, that water will not be running. Because I cannot allow that to happen. So I will cause hell and make sure that my people are not subject to a sewer system running down the streets and making my people sick, right?
Yeah.
That's how Black consciousness makes you think. It's saying, there is a problem, what do I do, right? Either I fix it myself or find somebody who's going to fix it, but I don't leave it. Because I have agency and I understand that I deserve a particular kind of dignity. So that's why we need to infuse Black consciousness into our ways of life and into everything in society. And that's what Azapo is trying to do.
That we can generally think that, it starts with me. When I see value in myself, it is easy for me to see value in others.
Right.
And what I think I deserve, then it goes for everyone else. Then they should deserve the same. And I think maybe push us even further to a point that we cannot be comfortable in being okay without considering the okayness of others around us.
Absolutely.
Now, I hear you. There are some other things that I would want to get into. You spoke about the way of life, and I think that puts the health aspects of it and the self-sufficiency of it into the mix. And I know that there's other things that you do about that, and then we'll talk about it after the break.